Welcome. Before we dive into this beautiful story, please kindly subscribe, share your thoughts in the comment section, and generously hit the like button. It helps bring more stories to you. Amina Okoro awoke to the gentle hum of early Lagos traffic and the soft call of distant church bells. In her modest, sunlit kitchen in a leafy suburb, she prepared her mother's famous yam porridge with a dash of palm oil, a breakfast recipe passed down through generations. The aroma mingled with the scent of freshly ground spices and sweet fried puff-puff from the corner stall, painting a picture of everyday vibrancy. Amina, dressed in a vibrant Ankara dress and a simple geli tied neatly around her head, embodied grace and resilience. Today, however, a subtle weight pressed on her heart. Her husband, Chinedu Obi, a respected businessman known for his polished suits and confident smile, had been distant for weeks. As she arranged the steaming bowl on their hand-carved wooden table, memories of their joyful early days in this bustling city flashed before her eyes. Back then, his laughter filled their small apartment, and every meal was a celebration of life's blessings. Now, the silence was punctuated only by the clatter of dishes and the distant chatter of neighbors outside. Outside, the streets of Lagos thrummed with life. The honking danfos, the vibrant market calls, and the rhythmic beat of Afrobeat music drifting from open windows. Amina tried to summon a smile as she heard the key turn in the door. She glanced at the clock and sighed inwardly. He was late as usual. In that moment, the ordinary morning felt laced with unspoken worries. Deep inside, she wondered if the man she had once admired so much had started to drift away, leaving her with only memories of better times and an uneasy premonition of betrayal. Yet, despite the simmering doubt, Amina vowed to face the day with quiet dignity, unaware that the unfolding hours would bring revelations that might shatter her world and spark a fire that would redefine her destiny. The sound of footsteps echoed down the corridor as Chinedu entered the living room. His expression was distant, his eyes fixed on the sleek smartphone clutched in his hand. He greeted Amina with a curt nod and a brief, perfunctory good morning, barely glancing at her. The familiar warmth that once radiated in his smile was replaced by a cool detachment that sent shivers down Amina's spine. As he settled into the worn but cherished sofa, Chinedu's attention was absorbed by a series of urgent messages, cryptic texts, and images that hinted at secrets beyond their small world. Amina watched him silently, feeling the familiar ache of being overlooked. Memories of shared laughter and tender moments, once the cornerstone of their union, now lay scattered like broken promises. Outside the window, Lagos bustled with energy. The vivid colors of market stalls and the lively banter of street vendors offered a stark contrast to the cold interior of their home. Amina's thoughts drifted to her childhood stories, African folktales of betrayal, resilience, and rebirth, wondering if her own life was about to take an unexpected turn. With every silent second, the chill of neglect deepened. The absence of his gentle touch and genuine concern was a painful echo of happier times, and yet an unfamiliar strength began to stir within her. As Chinedu scrolled through his messages, a fleeting glimpse of a familiar perfume lingered in the air, a scent that was not hers, yet carried an undeniable allure. That single, silent moment sparked a mix of dread and determination in Amina's heart. Could it be that the life they had built together was now infiltrated by secrets and lies? The question hung in the air like the humid Lagos dawn, heavy with the promise of stormy revelations. Later that morning, as the sun climbed higher and cast golden rays through the cracked window panes, Amina moved about her home with a quiet rhythm. She tried to immerse herself in daily chores, sweeping the veranda, arranging fresh bouquets of hibiscus and bougainvillea in simple earthen pots, but her mind was restless, caught between lingering hope and a gnawing sense of impending loss. In the gentle cadence of everyday life, subtle hints began to form a disquieting mosaic. A misplaced phone call here, a hushed conversation in another room there, and a lingering scent of exotic perfume that did not belong to her. Each piece of evidence stoked the fire of suspicion. Amina recalled the day she found a stray lipstick mark on a handkerchief, a mark far too bright for her own modest taste. In the local markets, where gossip flowed as freely as the cooling breeze off the Atlantic, whispers of Chinedu's mysterious late-night meetings were beginning to surface. Despite the painful clarity of these hints, Amina clung to a deep-seated dignity, determined not to let shame or despair cloud her vision. Instead, she resolved to learn the truth, no matter how bitter it might be. The rhythmic sounds of everyday Lagos life, the clatter of boda-bodas, the melodic calls of street vendors became a backdrop for her internal struggle. With every measured step, she felt both the sting of betrayal and the flicker of newfound resolve. It was in this moment of solitude that Amina began to understand that her journey was not one of victimhood but of transformation. The old tales of hardship and resurgence her grandmother once told her echoed in her mind, urging her to rise from the ashes of deceit and reclaim her power. In the quiet sanctum of her modest home, Amina made a silent vow to herself. She would uncover the truth behind the growing void in her marriage, and whatever it took, she would emerge stronger, wiser, and ready to rewrite her destiny in her own vibrant colors. That evening, as the sky deepened to a rich indigo and the stars began to twinkle above Lagos, Amina sat alone on her worn balcony. The warm night air carried the mingled scents of fried plantains and distant incense from nearby mosques and churches, a reminder of the city's spiritual pulse. With a steaming cup of zobo tea in hand, she replayed the day's moments in her mind. Each memory, every half-spoken word and furtive glance from Chinedu, was now a piece of an unsettling puzzle. Amina's heart pounded with a mix of fear and determination as she recalled the whisper of an unfamiliar name. A fleeting mention of Zainab, caught from one of Chinedu's hushed phone calls earlier in the day. The name, exotic and vibrant as the prints on her own dress, resonated deeply within her. It was a name that carried promises and peril, whispered like a secret in the wind. The familiar chatter of neighbors and the occasional call of a street vendor provided an oddly comforting counterpoint to the turbulence within her. In that solitary moment, as she looked out over the twinkling cityscape, Amina vowed silently to herself that she would no longer be a passive observer in her own life. The sting of betrayal was painful, yet it also lit a spark of rebellion. She knew that uncovering the truth might come at a high price, but the prospect of reclaiming her identity and dignity was worth every risk. Amina's resolve hardened like the setting sun over Lagos. Tomorrow, she promised herself, she would begin a quest for answers, no longer content to let suspicion fester. In the quiet of that starry night, steeped in the sounds and scents of an African evening, a new chapter of her life was poised to begin, one of courage, transformation, and ultimately, justice. The following morning, the city of Lagos awoke in its usual vibrant chaos, but Amina felt a profound shift within her. Over breakfast, as she prepared a light meal of akara and pap for herself, her mind raced with determination. She recalled her grandmother's wise words, tales of ancestral strength and the enduring spirit of the Okoro lineage. It was in these stories that Amina found solace and courage, dressed in her everyday attire, a simple blouse paired with a bright wrapper. She resolved to gather the fragments of evidence that now whispered of a betrayal too painful to ignore. With deliberate steps, she began her day, retracing the subtle clues. The stray scent of jasmine perfume in the hallway, a glimpse of a text message on Chinedu's phone that briefly lit up with a name unfamiliar to her, and the inexplicable coolness in his gaze. At the bustling local market, amid the vivid colors of fresh produce and the friendly banter of vendors, Amina discreetly inquired about a recent surge in calls to a particular number that was now associated with an unknown woman. The market, alive with the rhythms of everyday life, also carried the undercurrents of whispered rumors. Over the soft clatter of calabashes and the warm laughter of traders, Amina's inquiries met with cautious glances and subtle nods of understanding. There was talk, quiet, reserved talk, of a man caught between two worlds. As she gathered these fragments, Amina's resolve grew. The evidence, though circumstantial, painted a picture of a hidden life, a secret rendezvous marked by the allure of a foreign scent and hushed conversations. With a steady heart and the strength of her ancestors coursing through her veins, she promised herself that she would uncover every truth, no matter how deeply buried. In the heart of Lagos, amid the familiar clamor of a city that never sleeps, Amina began her silent crusade for justice, her every step echoing with the determination of a woman reborn from the ashes of deceit. By mid-afternoon, the simmering tension had given way to a resolute calm as Amina sought out trusted confidants from her community, women who had weathered storms of their own. In a small, warmly lit tea house near her neighborhood, she met with Adiz and Ifioma, longtime friends and pillars of strength who had witnessed Amina's journey from hopeful bride to determined wife. Over cups of spicy ginger tea and freshly baked chin-chin, the trio spoke in hushed tones about the troubling signs of Chinidu's infidelity. Adiz, with her steady voice and wise eyes, recounted similar whispers of a name, Zainab Musa, that had begun circulating in discreet conversations among business circles. Ifioma, ever the practical one, suggested that Amina review every detail of her home, every stray message and misplaced item, for clues that could no longer be dismissed as mere coincidence. As the tea's warmth spread through her, Amina felt both the sting of betrayal and the empowering rush of solidarity. These discussions, imbued with the rich tapestry of local dialects and cultural proverbs, reminded her of the resilience woven into the fabric of African sisterhood. In that modest tea house, where every story carried the weight of generations, Amina realized that her struggle was not hers alone. The shared wisdom of Adiz and Ifioma lit a fire in her heart, a fire that would fuel her quest for truth and restore her shattered pride. With renewed vigor, she left the tea house, determined to gather every scrap of evidence. The vibrant streets of Lagos, pulsing with life and hidden secrets, would soon bear witness to her journey. A journey that was about to transform heartbreak into a call for justice and renewal, echoing the timeless lessons of her forebears. That night, beneath a sky scattered with shimmering stars and the distant hum of Lagos nightlife, Amina took her first bold step. In the quiet privacy of her modest living room, she retrieved an old diary, one filled with family stories, wise sayings, and personal reflections of her mother and grandmother. With trembling hands, she began documenting every subtle detail she'd observed over the past weeks. The peculiar texts on Chinidu's phone, the faint trace of an unfamiliar fragrance lingering in the hall, and the quiet resignation in his eyes. Each entry was a piece of a larger mosaic of betrayal that was slowly coming into focus. As she wrote, Amina's mind wandered back to her childhood, when her mother would say, "When storms come, the baobab stands firm." The memory of those words bolstered her resolve. Determined to reclaim her dignity, she reached out discreetly to a local investigator known for his integrity and discreet manner. The investigator, Alyamide, a man with deep ties in the community and a keen eye for hidden truths, agreed to help her track down any evidence of Chinidu's secret rendezvous. Over the following days, Alyamide's investigations unearthed snippets of information. A series of late-night meetings at a popular upscale lounge in the heart of Lagos, a trail of mysterious phone calls, and even whispered accounts from employees in Chinidu's office. Each discovery was like a drop of water carving a canyon through Amina's heart, deepening her resolve to face the storm head-on. With every piece of evidence, the bitter truth became undeniable. The quiet despair that had once threatened to consume her was now replaced by an inner strength that resonated with the spirit of her ancestors. In that solitary moment of revelation, Amina knew that the journey ahead would be fraught with challenges, but she was no longer the gentle, unsuspecting wife of yesterday. Tonight, under the watchful gaze of the African sky, Amina Okoro vowed to stand tall, like the mighty baobab, and let the winds of truth blow away the remnants of deceit. As dawn broke over the sprawling city, bathing Lagos in a soft, golden glow, Amina began to formulate a plan that would transform her grief into action. In a small conference room at a community center known for empowering local women entrepreneurs, she met with a trusted lawyer, Nkechi, and a financial advisor, Emeka, figures respected for their expertise and commitment to justice. Over a modest spread of millet porridge and fresh fruit, Amina laid out the evidence she had painstakingly gathered. The suspicious messages, the whispered name of Zainab Musa, and the subtle but persistent signs of Chinidu's double life. In the warm, encouraging atmosphere of the center, its walls adorned with vibrant murals celebrating African heritage and resilience, the trio discussed a daring yet calculated strategy. Nkechi explained the legal intricacies that could help Amina protect her assets and secure her financial future, while Emeka outlined the possibility of leveraging her modest inheritance to invest in a local business venture, a historic hotel renowned in Lagos for its charm and legacy. This hotel, a gem nestled in a district steeped in culture and tradition, had long been a gathering place for the city's creative souls and community leaders. The idea of turning this cherished property into a symbol of empowerment sparked a fierce determination in Amina. The plan was as audacious as it was desperate. To reclaim not only her dignity but also to turn the tables on Chinedu's betrayal by taking control of the very institution that had once represented the promise of a shared future. As the meeting drew to a close, Amina felt a surge of empowerment course through her veins. No longer would she be the silent victim of deception. Instead, she would become the architect of her destiny. With a clear strategy and the support of formidable allies, she stepped out of the center into the bustling Lagos morning, her eyes shining with resolve. Today marked the beginning of a new era, one where heartbreak would be transformed into a legacy of strength and justice. In the following days, Lagos itself seemed to echo Amina's inner transformation. The city's familiar streets, lined with markets bursting with colorful textiles and the aroma of sizzling suya, now carried an undercurrent of anticipation. Amina, with the quiet confidence of a woman reborn, began frequenting the historic hotel that was to become the cornerstone of her new journey. The hotel, known as the Golden Palm, had stood for decades as a symbol of refined elegance and cultural heritage. Its facade, adorned with intricate carvings and vibrant murals depicting local legends, resonated with the spirit of the people. Dressed in a sleek, modern reinterpretation of traditional attire, a flowing dress with bold prints and a matching head wrap, Amina walked through the hotel's grand lobby. The polished floors and the gentle strains of Afrobeat music from hidden speakers lent the space a timeless grace. She spoke with the hotel manager, Mr. Adewale, whose eyes revealed years of dedicated service to the establishment. In hushed tones, Amina outlined her vision, a transformation that would honor the hotel's legacy while infusing it with new life, resilience, and empowerment. As she toured the opulent banquet hall and the charming courtyard, memories of her happier past intermingled with the promise of a brighter future. Every detail, from the carefully restored chandeliers to the locally sourced artworks, was a testament to the richness of Lagos' cultural heritage. For Amina, this was more than a business transaction. It was a reclamation of her narrative. In the quiet solitude of the hotel's library, amidst shelves filled with the wisdom of African authors and historical accounts, she allowed herself a rare moment of reflection. Here, surrounded by the tangible echoes of generations past, she felt a deep connection to her roots. Each page she turned reinforced the belief that every betrayal, every hardship, could be transformed into a stepping stone toward justice. With unwavering resolve, Amina promised herself that this hotel would not only serve as a sanctuary for those seeking comfort but also as a beacon of hope, a living legacy of resilience, where every stone and every story celebrated the indomitable spirit of the African people. The day of the unveiling arrived with all the pomp and circumstance of a long-anticipated celebration. In the heart of Lagos, beneath a bright sky and amidst the energetic pulse of the city, the Golden Palm Hotel was ready to reveal its new identity. Amina had orchestrated every detail with meticulous care. The hotel's grand ballroom, traditionally reserved for lavish events, had been transformed into a stage for rebirth and justice. Soft lighting danced across intricate murals, and vibrant floral arrangements featuring locally grown roses and hibiscus lent the space an air of natural elegance. Amina, now known by her new title, Mama Amina, among the local community, stepped onto the stage with calm authority. Her attire was a perfect blend of modern chic and traditional African craftsmanship, a tailored ensemble in rich hues that celebrated her heritage and newfound strength. As the crowd, comprised of influential community members, local media, and curious onlookers, murmured in anticipation, Amina began her address. With a voice that carried both the weight of her pain and the fire of her determination, she recounted the journey of betrayal and transformation. Each word resonated like a drumbeat, echoing the timeless rhythms of the city itself. She spoke of the secret whispers that had once threatened to break her and of the support and resilience that had helped her rise. In that electrifying moment, as the audience hung on her every word, the truth about Chinedu's deceit was unveiled in a series of carefully curated revelations. The atmosphere shifted from mere celebration to a collective catharsis, an acknowledgement that justice, though delayed, was inevitable. In the wake of her speech, the room burst into a mix of applause and stunned silence. The event was no longer just an unveiling. It was a powerful declaration that betrayal would not stand unchallenged. Mama Amina's transformation was complete, and the stage was set for the reckoning that would forever redefine her destiny and restore honor to her name. In the days following the grand unveiling, Mama Amina's reputation spread like wildfire through the streets of Lagos. The transformation of the Gold and Palm Hotel was not merely a change of ownership, it was a revolution in spirit. Local businesswomen, artisans, and community leaders gathered at informal gatherings, where the tale of Mama Amina's resilience was recounted with admiration and hope. At a small, bustling market stall tucked away in a vibrant corner of the city, women whispered among themselves about how Amina had turned betrayal into triumph. Meanwhile, Chinedu Obi's once proud image began to crumble. Once the respected businessman who navigated high-rise boardrooms with confidence, he now found himself the subject of hushed conversations and disapproving stares. His arrogance had vanished like morning mist, replaced by a cold, calculating desperation as he realized the magnitude of his misdeeds. The local radio stations, known for their lively talk shows and community call-ins, began broadcasting segments that dissected his fall from grace. Even among the youth, who admired the audacity of Mama Amina's comeback, Chinedu's name was now synonymous with deceit and regret. As the days turned into weeks, the Golden Palm Hotel blossomed under its new regime. The lobby echoed with laughter, and the aroma of freshly prepared jollof rice and spicy suya mingled with the sounds of Afrobeat and highlife, creating an atmosphere of vibrant renewal. Mama Amina walked through the corridors of her establishment, her presence exuding both grace and authority. She frequently paused to speak with her staff, seasoned waiters in crisp traditional attire, bellboys in smart uniforms, and local artists whose murals adorned the walls, all of whom felt they were part of a movement greater than themselves. Every smile, every nod, and every word of encouragement reinforced the sentiment that justice, though painful, had given birth to a legacy of empowerment. In every corner of the hotel and throughout the city, Mama Amina's journey had become a living testament to the strength of the human spirit, inspiring countless others to rise above adversity. Amid the renewed buzz surrounding the Golden Palm Hotel, whispers of a dramatic twist in the saga began to circulate. Chinedu, desperate to salvage even a fragment of his former glory, tried in vain to mend fences. He reached out to influential figures and attempted to spin the narrative in his favor, but his words fell flat in the face of overwhelming evidence and public sentiment. One humid evening, in a modest office adorned with traditional African artwork, Chinedu received a call that sent a chill down his spine. A prominent local journalist, known for fearless reporting on corruption and moral decay, demanded an exclusive interview. The journalist's tone was icy and unyielding, hinting at a story of deceit that was too explosive to ignore. Meanwhile, far from the chaos of the media circus, Mama Amina continued to consolidate her plans for the future. With the support of trusted allies, Nkechi the lawyer, Emeka the financial advisor, and Olumide the investigator, she was not only building a sanctuary but also laying the groundwork for community empowerment. In the quiet hours of the night, she would sit on the terrace of the Golden Palm, gazing at the shimmering lights of Lagos, and reflect on the intricate tapestry of her life. The stars above, vivid against the inky sky, seemed to echo the wisdom of her ancestors. In these moments of solitude, Amina reaffirmed her commitment to justice and transformation. Every hardship, every tear shed in silence, had led her to this pivotal moment. She resolved that Chinedu's attempts to rewrite history would fail. The people of Lagos had witnessed his duplicity, and the truth, as vibrant and unyielding as the African sun, could not be dimmed. With unwavering determination, Mama Amina began to craft a new chapter, one where truth reigned supreme and betrayal was met with the full force of righteous retribution. As the months unfolded, the Golden Palm Hotel became a beacon of hope and empowerment, drawing visitors from every corner of Lagos and beyond. The hotel's rebranding was not merely a cosmetic change but a soulful reinvention that celebrated African heritage and the triumph of the human spirit. Mama Amina hosted cultural nights where traditional drumming and dance performances filled the air, and storytelling sessions recounted the rich folklore of her people. In one particularly memorable event, the hotel's grand ballroom was transformed into a vibrant stage for a celebration of unity and resilience. Elders in elegant agbatas and women adorned in colorful wrappers shared timeless stories of struggle and perseverance, their voices resonating with both sorrow and pride. The event became a turning point for many, a moment when the community, young and old, recognized that their collective strength was far more potent than any betrayal. In the midst of these celebrations, however, Chinedu's shadow continued to loom. His attempts to re-enter the social sphere were met with disdain and subtle rejection. Invitations to local events were mysteriously rerouted, and his once loyal acquaintances began distancing themselves. His efforts to win back respect by throwing lavish parties in borrowed luxury proved futile when compared to the authenticity and heartfelt passion of Mama Amina's initiatives. Every time Chinedu tried to speak of love lost or to claim remorse, the echoes of his past misdeeds resonated louder than his words. The local newspapers, now filled with stories of transformation and the rise of a true African queen, were unkind to him. Headline after headline chronicled his fall from grace while celebrating Mama Amina's ascension. In hushed conversations over cups of steaming millet porridge at roadside cafes, people spoke of karma as an inevitable force. A force that had brought about the downfall of a man who had dared to betray the trust of his community. And so, as the vibrant rhythms of Lagos pulsed through the city, Mama Amina stood firm, her spirit unbroken and her resolve unyielding, a living example of how betrayal can fuel the fire of renewal and inspire a legacy of hope. One fateful afternoon, as the humid air of Lagos shimmered with the heat of a tropical sun, a significant development sent ripples through the community. Amina received an unexpected visitor at the Golden Palm, a renowned philanthropist and cultural icon known as Chief Olabisi, whose wisdom and generosity had long been celebrated in local lore. Dressed in a finely tailored dashiki and sporting a broad, welcoming smile, Chief Olabisi was a man of imposing stature and gentle authority. He expressed admiration for Mama Amina's courage and the way she had transformed the hotel into a center of cultural revival. Over cups of fragrant hibiscus tea, he shared stories of his own trials and triumphs, recounting how he had once been betrayed by those he trusted, only to rise stronger through community support and a steadfast belief in justice. His words resonated deeply with Amina, reinforcing her resolve to push forward. Together, they discussed plans to launch a series of community outreach programs, a blend of educational workshops, entrepreneurship training, and cultural festivals designed to empower local youth and women. The idea was to create a ripple effect, using the hotel as a launchpad for broader societal change. In this vibrant dialogue, the essence of African communal values was palpable, the belief that individual pain could be transformed into collective progress. Chief Olabisi's presence lent a new layer of legitimacy to Mama Amina's mission. He assured her that the community would stand firmly behind her, recognizing that her journey was not just about personal vindication but about restoring honor and dignity to all those who had ever been wronged. As the meeting drew to a close, with promises of support and a shared vision for a brighter future, Amina felt an overwhelming sense of purpose. In that moment, the Golden Palm was no longer just a hotel, it was a symbol of renewal, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, and a beacon guiding the way toward a more just and compassionate society. The spirit of collective empowerment was ignited, and Lagos, with all its vibrant energy and indomitable heart, stood ready to embrace a new era. In the wake of Chief Olabisi's inspiring visit, the momentum behind Mama Amina's initiatives grew stronger. The Golden Palm Hotel soon hosted a series of community events that resonated deeply with the people of Lagos. One particularly stirring event was a night of remembrance and renewal, where local artists, poets, and musicians gathered to pay homage to the struggles and triumphs of everyday Africans. In a hall adorned with handmade decorations and traditional artifacts, the attendees shared personal stories of betrayal, hardship, and eventual triumph. The air was thick with emotion as soulful voices recited verses in Yoruba and Igbo, their words weaving a tapestry of pain transformed into strength. Mama Amina took the stage, her presence dignified and serene, her eyes reflecting the weight of her own journey. In her speech, she spoke of the importance of unity and the power of resilience. "We come from ancestors who weathered the harshest storms," she said, her voice steady yet filled with passion. Their strength is in our blood. We rise not because we forget our pain, but because we learn from it and transform it into hope. Her words struck a chord, and the audience responded with a wave of applause and murmurs of agreement. In the days that followed, the event became a touchstone for the community, a reminder that every setback was an opportunity for rebirth. Meanwhile, Chinedu's world grew increasingly isolated. His public appearances dwindled, and even his closest allies began to question his integrity. The harsh light of truth that had been cast upon him by Mama Amina's rise left little room for redemption. His once pristine reputation was tarnished beyond repair, a stark contrast to the vibrant, unyielding spirit that now defined the Golden Palm. For Amina, each day was a step closer to not only reclaiming her dignity but also building a legacy that celebrated the collective strength of her people. The transformation of the hotel was a living, breathing testament to the idea that out of betrayal and sorrow could emerge beauty, hope, and unbreakable solidarity. As Lagos moved forward, the echoes of that night lingered in the hearts of many, serving as a powerful reminder that justice and renewal were always within reach. As autumn painted the outskirts of Lagos with a subtle change in the air, Mama Amina found herself reflecting on the personal cost of transformation. In quiet moments between the whirlwind of community engagements and the daily operations of the Golden Palm, she allowed herself a brief interlude to mourn the loss of the love and trust that had once defined her life with Chinedu. Sitting on the rooftop terrace, with a gentle breeze carrying the distant sounds of city life and the soft rhythm of traditional drums, she recalled the early days of their union. There had been laughter, shared dreams, and the promise of a future built on mutual respect. But the slow erosion of that promise had left scars that were not easily healed. Despite the pain, Amina recognized that every tear, every heartbreak had paved the way for her current rebirth. The wisdom of her elders' stories of ancestral struggle and perseverance echoed in her mind, reassuring her that suffering could be a crucible for strength. Determined to honor both her past and her future, she began to pen down her thoughts in a leather-bound journal gifted by her grandmother. Each word was a cathartic release, a testament to the complex emotions that intertwined grief with hope. In the following days, she invited a small group of trusted friends to join her for an intimate gathering on the terrace. Over bowls of spicy egusi soup and platters of fresh fruits, they shared their own tales of love lost and battles fought, their voices mingling in a chorus of vulnerability and resilience. The conversation was raw and honest, filled with laughter, tears, and an unspoken understanding that their collective pain was also a source of power. It was in these moments of shared intimacy that Mama Amina truly began to understand the transformative nature of forgiveness, both for herself and for those who had wronged her. Though the wounds of betrayal would take time to heal, she embraced them as part of her journey towards self-discovery and empowerment. And as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow over the terrace, Amina vowed that she would use every scar as a stepping stone, turning her pain into a beacon of hope for others who dared to rise above their own adversities. In the wake of these heartfelt revelations, the next chapter of Mama Amina's journey unfolded with both challenge and promise. The Golden Palm Hotel was now fully integrated into the fabric of Lagos cultural and social life, its halls reverberating with the voices of those who had been touched by its transformation. Amid this newfound vibrancy, Amina began to expand her vision. With the guidance of Nkechi and Emeka, she initiated a groundbreaking project, a mentorship program designed to empower young women from disadvantaged backgrounds to pursue education, entrepreneurship, and artistic expression. The program, aptly named Uche Wisdom Rising, brought together community leaders, educators, and local business owners in a collaborative effort to nurture the next generation of African leaders. In a bustling community center on the outskirts of the city, Amina led a seminar filled with lively discussions, practical workshops, and inspiring success stories. The room buzzed with energy as young women, adorned in a mix of modern fashion and traditional prints, listened intently to the wisdom shared by those who had once faced similar hardships. Their eyes sparkled with hope as they absorbed every word, their hearts buoyed by the promise of a brighter future. For Amina, the program was more than an initiative, it was a living legacy that would ensure her story of resilience and transformation continued to inspire long after her personal battles had been won. As the mentorship program gained momentum, stories of its success began to ripple out into the broader community. Testimonials poured in from young women whose lives had been irrevocably changed by the opportunity to learn, grow, and dream again. In every success story, Amina saw reflections of her own journey, the pain of betrayal transformed into the strength of a new beginning. And while the scars of the past remained, they were now viewed as symbols of hard-won wisdom rather than the marks of defeat. As Lagos moved forward with the season, so too did Mama Amina, her resolve unyielding, her spirit unbroken. With every new day, the legacy of the Golden Palm grew stronger, a testament to the enduring power of hope, community, and the unbreakable bonds of sisterhood that defined the very heart of Africa. While Mama Amina's endeavors flourished, the lingering consequences of Chinedu's betrayal continued to cast a long shadow over his personal and professional life. In stark contrast to the vibrant energy of the Golden Palm, Chinedu found himself isolated in an increasingly desolate world of his own making. His attempts to salvage his reputation through lavish parties and public apologies fell flat, resonating only as empty gestures in a community that had witnessed his duplicity. One steamy evening, as rain began to fall softly over Lagos, Chinedu sat alone in a dimly lit room in his sparsely furnished apartment, his reflection distorted in a cracked mirror. He replayed the events that had led him to this point, a litany of broken promises, whispered betrayals, and lost opportunities. Each memory was a painful reminder of the man he once was, and the man he had become, a shell of arrogance and regret. The media's relentless scrutiny, combined with the community's growing disdain, left him with little solace. In desperate attempts to reclaim some semblance of dignity, he reached out to old acquaintances, only to be met with cool indifference and veiled contempt. Even his once trusted business partners had distanced themselves, unwilling to be associated with his tarnished legacy. As he sat there, the sound of distant thunder echoing through the night, Chinedu realized that the truth he had tried so desperately to hide was now an unstoppable force. Meanwhile, across the city, Mama Amina's renewed spirit and the rising tide of community empowerment only accentuated his isolation. Every success of the Golden Palm, every smile shared at a Uche, Wisdom Rising workshop, was a stark reminder of what he had lost. His attempts to counterbalance his failures with fleeting gestures of remorse felt inadequate in the face of such overwhelming vindication. In that quiet, stormy night, as the rain washed over the city, Chinedu's internal struggle reached a breaking point. The man who had once commanded respect now found himself questioning if redemption was even possible. Deep within, he sensed that the era of deceit and manipulation was over, a truth as inevitable as the dawning of a new day in Lagos. And so, while Mama Amina continued to build a legacy of hope and renewal, Chinedu's world slowly crumbled, a cautionary tale of how betrayal ultimately leads to ruin and isolation. As the seasons shifted and the vibrant rhythm of Lagos continued unabated, a dramatic twist in the unfolding saga brought unforeseen consequences for all involved. In a bustling courtroom adorned with the vibrant hues of local artwork and echoing with the measured cadence of legal discourse, the long-awaited confrontation between justice and betrayal finally took center stage. Mama Amina, steadfast and dignified, had filed a case to protect her assets and affirm her rightful place as the owner of the Golden Palm Hotel. The courtroom was packed with community members, local journalists, and supporters whose presence symbolized a collective call for accountability. Chinedu, now a figure of public scorn, stood before the judge, his face a mask of contrition and apprehension. The proceedings were not merely about property or finances, they were a reckoning for every lie, every broken promise, and every moment of deceit. In a stirring address, Mama Amina recounted the painful journey of betrayal and the unwavering determination that had transformed her grief into a beacon of empowerment. Her testimony was raw, filled with the echoes of ancestral wisdom and the spirit of a people who had overcome insurmountable odds. Every word resonated with the collective heartbeat of Lagos, a city that had seen too many injustices and now demanded retribution. As the judge rendered the verdict, the courtroom fell into a hushed silence. Justice, it was declared, had been served. Chinedu was ordered to relinquish control of all assets he had misappropriated, and the verdict paved the way for Mama Amina to solidify her legacy. The decision was met with a surge of applause and tearful smiles from those who had witnessed the transformation of a once-broken spirit into an emblem of hope. In that defining moment, Mama Amina's eyes glistened with quiet triumph. The scales of justice had balanced, and the long road from betrayal to vindication had finally reached its destination. Lagos, in its vibrant complexity, had not only witnessed a personal rebirth, but had also set an example for generations to come. That truth, no matter how deeply buried, will always find a way to emerge and reclaim its rightful place. The aftermath of the courtroom victory breathed new life into the Golden Palm Hotel, and the wider community. In the months that followed, Mama Amina dedicated herself to rebuilding not just her own life but also the lives of those who had been touched by her journey. With the legal battles behind her, she focused on expanding the Uche Wisdom Rising mentorship program, which now received support from both local businesses and international organizations that admired Lagos' resilience. The hotel itself became a dynamic hub where tradition met modern innovation, a place where guests were welcomed with warm smiles, traditional greetings in Pidgin and Yoruba, and the rich aroma of freshly brewed coffee mingled with local spices. Mama Amina introduced a series of cultural exhibitions showcasing traditional African art, music, and cuisine. Each event was a vibrant celebration of identity and unity, a tribute to the countless stories of struggle and triumph that defined the spirit of the people. Community leaders often remarked that the golden palm had become a living symbol of how pain could be transformed into power. Every smile on a guest's face and every word of encouragement from a young mentee reaffirmed Amina's belief in the transformative power of resilience. Meanwhile, Chinita's absence from the public eye became a stark reminder of the fate that befalls those who choose deceit over integrity. His legacy, now reduced to whispers of regret, served as a cautionary tale for those who dared to betray trust. For Mama Amina, the journey was far from over. With a heart full of hope and a spirit strengthened by every challenge, she continued to walk the path of renewal. The Golden Palm Hotel stood as a testament to the unyielding power of justice and the enduring strength of the human spirit, a beacon of light in the heart of Lagos, where every day was a celebration of life, love, and the promise of a brighter tomorrow. In the wake of the courtroom victory, Mama Amina's resolve grew even stronger as she embraced every new challenge with open arms. The Golden Palm Hotel, now a thriving symbol of hope and justice, became the backdrop for yet another turning point in her journey. One brisk morning, as the harmonic sounds of distant drums floated through the busy Lagos streets, Amina organized a grand community festival in the hotel's sprawling courtyard. Locals gathered in traditional attire, women in brightly patterned wrappers and men in flowing igbadas, each person radiating pride and resilience. The festival celebrated the spirit of unity and self-reliance. Traditional dances, storytelling sessions, and spontaneous musical performances filled the air with energy. Amid the festivities, Mama Amina introduced a new initiative aimed at preserving and promoting local crafts. In a moving speech delivered in a blend of Yoruba and Pidgin, she reminded everyone that every thread, every carving, and every melody was a testament to the ingenuity of their forebears. As the crowd cheered, Amina's eyes sparkled with the joy of a dream finally realized, a dream where betrayal was not an end but the beginning of a renaissance. For every participant, the festival became a celebration of personal and collective victory. The traditional beats of the dun-dun drums resonated with the heartbeat of Lagos, a city that had witnessed both suffering and triumph. With each passing moment, the community's shared story was enriched, transforming pain into art and sorrow into strength. In that moment, as laughter and song melded into one powerful chorus, Mama Amina knew that the seeds of hope she had sown would continue to bloom, nurturing a future where justice and culture walked hand in hand. As autumn deepened its hold over Lagos, the momentum of Mama Amina's transformation inspired an unexpected ripple effect across neighboring communities. Word of her courage and the success of the Golden Palm Hotel spread far beyond the city limits, reaching small towns where traditional values still reigned. Amina began receiving invitations to speak at regional gatherings and cultural festivals where elders, young entrepreneurs, and women leaders sought her wisdom. At one such gathering in a scenic, rural town, under a vast sky streaked with the hues of dusk, Mama Amina recounted her journey. Her voice, soft yet resolute, carried the weight of experience as she spoke of betrayal, the pain of lost trust, and ultimately the power of reclaiming one's dignity. The audience, a tapestry of diverse backgrounds united by common struggles, listened with rapt attention. In a heartfelt moment, an elderly woman in a colorful wrapper approached Amina, her eyes misty with gratitude, and whispered, "You have shown us that our scars can become our strength." These words reaffirmed Amina's belief that transformation was possible, even in the face of deep injustice. Empowered by this new reach, she pledged to extend the Uche Wisdom Rising program to these regions, ensuring that every woman, regardless of her origins, had access to the tools for education and self-improvement. The festival that night was an explosion of cultural pride. Local musicians played the talking drum, dancers performed the energetic bata dance, and storytellers wove timeless folktales into the narrative of the evening. With the stars as witnesses, Mama Amina's message echoed. Betrayal may break hearts, but the spirit of a determined community can mend them, forging bonds that uplift and transform lives. Back in Lagos, life at the Golden Palm Hotel continued its vibrant evolution. The halls now buzzed with stories of everyday victories. A young woman starting her own business after attending an entrepreneurial workshop, an artist whose work was finally receiving recognition, and even elders who found new purpose in mentoring the youth. Mama Amina oversaw these transformations with gentle pride, knowing that every success was a step toward healing a community once fractured by betrayal. In the lobby, adorned with freshly painted murals that celebrated African heroes and heroines, a display of local artifacts stood as a reminder of the city's rich heritage. Guests marveled at the intricate details, a blend of modern touches and timeless traditions that spoke to both the heart and the mind. Amid this colorful tapestry, a new challenge emerged. Chinedu, isolated and desperate, began making desperate attempts to reclaim even a sliver of his former power. His efforts, however, were met with staunch resistance from a community now united by Mama Amina's example. At social gatherings, whispers of his past misdeeds were replaced by the collective will to move forward. In a poignant scene, a once loyal business partner of Chinedu's publicly renounced him, declaring that integrity was worth more than hollow promises. The incident, reported widely in local news outlets, marked a turning point. Not only had justice been served, but the community's trust was now firmly placed in the hands of those who valued honesty and solidarity. In private moments, Mama Amina reflected on the journey that had brought her to this pinnacle of transformation. Each setback, each bitter tear, had been a stepping stone toward a future she had dared to dream. And as Lagos thrived around her, she embraced the reality that betrayal, however deep, could never overshadow the unbreakable spirit of a people united in hope and resilience. The passage of time brought new layers to the ever-evolving narrative of Mama Amina's legacy. In the corridors of the Golden Palm Hotel, laughter and determination intertwined with the rich tapestry of local tradition, painting a vivid picture of renewal. Amina, now affectionately called Mama Amina by the community, organized weekly gatherings where stories of struggle and triumph were shared over steaming bowls of egusi soup and freshly baked mandatsi. The ritual became a cherished moment, a time when the wisdom of elders mingled with the ambitions of the young, creating a vibrant dialogue of hope. One evening, during one of these heartfelt sessions, a young girl named Ifeoma, with eyes full of dreams, stood up and asked, "Mama, how did you find the strength to rise after all the pain?" The question, simple yet profound, resonated with every person present. Mama Amina, her face softening with tender recollection, shared her journey from the early days of quiet suffering to the moment she discovered that her scars could be transformed into the roadmap of her destiny. Her words, interspersed with local idioms and proverbs, painted a picture of resilience that left the room in reflective silence before erupting in supportive applause. In that shared moment, the room became more than a gathering space. It transformed into a sanctuary where the spirit of collective healing was nurtured. Stories flowed freely, and each person left with a renewed sense of purpose, knowing that the path to transformation was lined with both pain and promise. Mama Amina's legacy was no longer just about one woman's victory. It was a shared narrative of a community reclaiming its identity and rewriting its destiny, one story at a time. As the year advanced, the winds of change carried whispers of a final reckoning, a dramatic twist that would challenge the very fabric of the old order. Chinedu, his reputation in tatters and his influence dwindling, made one last, desperate attempt to salvage what remained of his pride. In a clandestine meeting with a few lingering allies in a dimly lit bar on the outskirts of Lagos, he plotted a comeback, hoping to tarnish Mama Amina's reputation and reclaim the life he once took for granted. But the universe, as if guided by the collective will of a community that had grown strong from its trials, had other plans. Unbeknownst to Chinedu, his covert actions had been meticulously tracked by Alyamide, the investigator who had once helped Mama Amina gather evidence. Alyamide, with his unwavering commitment to the truth, had recorded incriminating conversations and secured documents that unequivocally exposed the extent of Chinedu's deceit. The evidence, once presented to the local authorities, sent shockwaves through the remaining circles of influence that had once rallied behind him. In a public statement that resonated like a clarion call, the police announced that further legal actions would be taken against Chinedu, sealing his fate as a cautionary tale of hubris and treachery. The news spread quickly, carried by social media platforms and local radio shows, each retelling amplifying the inevitability of karma. For the community, it was a moment of collective vindication, a final, decisive chapter in a saga that had tested the limits of human endurance and integrity. Mama Amina, though deeply saddened by the personal tragedy that had once marred her life, recognized that this ultimate reckoning was not just a punishment for Chinedu but a reaffirmation that truth and justice would always prevail in the end. In the echo of those final revelations, the streets of Lagos thrummed with a renewed spirit of unity and hope, a promise that betrayal, no matter how cunning, would never silence the voice of a determined people. The fallout from Chinedu's last desperate bid for redemption reverberated through every corner of Lagos. The once formidable businessman had become a specter of his former self, a reminder of the devastating cost of treachery. As the legal process unfolded, the community rallied together not in spite of his downfall, but because of it, each person drawing strength from the shared narrative of overcoming injustice. Mama Amina, ever the compassionate leader, extended a hand of reconciliation to those who had once been entangled in Chinedu's web of deceit. She organized restorative circles in the hotel's serene garden, where individuals from all walks of life gathered to reflect on lessons learned and to rebuild trust. These sessions, held under the sprawling branches of ancient trees and accompanied by the gentle strains of kora music, allowed many to voice their struggles and, more importantly, to forge bonds of empathy and support. One evening, an influential community elder recited an age-old proverb, "Even the darkest night gives way to the first light of dawn." The words resonated deeply with everyone present, encapsulating the transformative journey they had all witnessed. As Mama Amina listened to these heartfelt exchanges, she realized that her personal victory had become a catalyst for broader societal healing. The Golden Palm Hotel, once a mere symbol of luxury, had evolved into a sanctuary of empowerment and communal resilience. Every smile, every tear, and every hopeful glance exchanged under its roof was a testament to the indomitable spirit of a people who refused to be defined by betrayal. With the old order finally fading into the annals of the past, the community embraced a future filled with promise, where every hardship was seen as a stepping stone toward a better tomorrow. In the midst of these transformative changes, the spirit of Mama Amina continued to shine brightly. Her initiatives, now firmly rooted in the hearts of Lagosians, began attracting attention from beyond the borders of the city. Invitations poured in for international conferences on women's empowerment, and her story was featured in regional documentaries celebrating Africa's rising voices. Despite her growing fame, Mama Amina remained deeply connected to her roots. Every morning, before the bustle of the day took over, she would walk along the busy streets near her neighborhood, greeting vendors, children, and elders with warm smiles and familiar sayings in Yoruba and Igbo. These simple acts of kindness kept her grounded and reminded her of the communal bonds that had fueled her transformation. At the Golden Palm, new projects were constantly underway: art exhibitions showcasing local talent, culinary festivals celebrating indigenous recipes, and entrepreneurship workshops designed to nurture the next generation of African leaders. The hotel had become a vibrant microcosm of Lagos itself, a place where modern ambition coexisted with time-honored traditions. Mama Amina's legacy was further enriched by the personal stories of countless individuals who had found hope and purpose through her mentorship. A young entrepreneur, inspired by one of the Uche Wisdom Rising seminars, had started a successful fashion line that blended contemporary designs with traditional fabrics, while an aspiring writer had published a collection of poems that captured the raw emotion of the city's collective struggle. In every success story, Mama Amina saw a reflection of her own journey, a reminder that from the ashes of betrayal could rise an empire built on resilience, compassion, and unwavering determination. As Lagos continued to evolve into a beacon of progress and unity, Mama Amina's influence remained a constant force, a living testament to the power of truth, justice, and the enduring spirit of community. As the seasons turned and the vibrant pulse of Lagos continued unabated, the personal chapters of Mama Amina's life began to weave in new threads of hope and possibility. In the quiet moments between the bustling activity at the Golden Palm and her community engagements, Amina found solace in small, intimate rituals that connected her to her heritage. Early each morning, before the city fully awoke, she would sit by her window with a cup of spiced hibiscus tea, reflecting on the wisdom of her ancestors and the lessons learned from years of struggle. In those quiet moments, the gentle hum of the city blended with the soft echoes of traditional lullabies, creating a symphony of resilience and promise. One such morning, as the sun's first light spilled over the rooftops of Lagos, Amina received a message that would spark a new beginning. A distant relative, living in a remote village renowned for its ancient storytelling traditions, invited her to share her journey at a cultural festival celebrating the region's heritage. Though the invitation came as a surprise, it resonated deeply with Amina, reminding her that her story was not just about personal vindication, it was a tribute to the timeless strength of her people. With her trusted team by her side, Mama Amina embarked on a journey to the village, eager to connect with the elders and learn more about the traditions that had shaped her identity. The journey was long and filled with moments of reflection as she passed through landscapes dotted with vibrant market stalls, rustic villages, and fields where local farmers tended to their crops with unwavering dedication. Each step was a reaffirmation of the path she had chosen, a path of empowerment, healing, and community. In the warm embrace of the village, amidst the rhythmic cadence of traditional songs and the wise words of elders, Mama Amina found not only a renewed sense of purpose but also a deeper connection to the roots that had sustained her through life's darkest trials. Back in Lagos, the impact of Mama Amina's journey continued to ripple across the community, touching lives in unexpected ways. The Golden Palm Hotel had grown into a sanctuary for artists, activists, and visionaries, all united by a shared belief in the transformative power of resilience. In the midst of this vibrant renaissance, a special celebration was organized to honor those who had helped shape the new era of empowerment. The event, held in the hotel's grand atrium adorned with traditional batik and handcrafted sculptures, was a tapestry of emotion and celebration. Community leaders, local celebrities, and even international guests gathered to pay tribute to Mama Amina and the countless individuals who had played a role in turning the tide against betrayal and injustice. Speeches were made in a blend of English, Yoruba, and Igbo, each word imbued with the passion of a people reclaiming their dignity. One poignant moment came when a young woman, tears glistening in her eyes, recounted how the Uche, Wisdom Rising program had given her the courage to start her own business and break free from the chains of poverty. Her story, raw and heartfelt, resonated deeply with everyone present, serving as a living testament to the power of community-driven change. As the night unfolded with rhythmic drumming, soulful songs, and impromptu dance performances, Mama Amina stood quietly at the edge of the celebration, her heart filled with gratitude and hope. Each smile, each tear, and every shared memory reinforced the truth that her journey was not in vain. The legacy of the Golden Palm Hotel was now more than just bricks and mortar. It was a living embodiment of the resilience, creativity, and unyielding spirit of a community that had risen above adversity to create a future filled with promise. In the final chapter of this transformative saga, as the gentle hum of Lagos embraced a new dawn, Mama Amina prepared to unveil the crowning achievement of her journey. The Golden Palm Hotel was set to host its most ambitious project yet, a cultural exhibition that would celebrate the triumph of truth and justice over betrayal. The exhibition, aptly named Phoenix Rising, was a multimedia celebration featuring art installations, interactive workshops, and storytelling sessions that recounted the collective struggles and victories of the community. In the days leading up to the event, the city buzzed with anticipation. Local artisans worked tirelessly to craft pieces that symbolized rebirth, sculptures made from reclaimed materials, intricate paintings that depicted the journey from darkness to light, and vibrant textiles that told tales of heritage and hope. On the day of the exhibition, the Golden Palm Hotel's atrium was transformed into a living gallery, its walls echoing with the rich cadence of traditional music and the soft murmur of excited guests. Mama Amina, dressed in an exquisite ensemble that blended contemporary elegance with traditional African motifs, took center stage. With a voice that resonated with the wisdom of generations, she spoke of her journey, a tale of betrayal, heartbreak, and ultimately the fierce reclaiming of dignity and purpose. Today, she declared, we celebrate not only my story but the spirit of every one of us who has ever been hurt, who has ever doubted our strength, and who has risen, like the phoenix, from the ashes of despair. The crowd erupted in a collective cheer as the first art pieces were unveiled and the interactive sessions began. In that moment, amidst the colorful fusion of past and future, the essence of Lagos and the resilient spirit of its people was on full display. Mama Amina's legacy had become a beacon of hope, a testament that even in the face of deep betrayal, the unyielding force of community and self-belief could forge a new, brighter tomorrow. And as the exhibition continued well into the night, the city of Lagos celebrated not just a triumph of one woman but the eternal, unbreakable spirit of an entire people. I'm glad you made it to the end. I hope you enjoyed the story. Please go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe for more captivating tales like this. We'd love to hear from you. What lessons have you learned from this story? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Cheers!